Okay, here we are. Hello everyone. This is the first video around, well, talking about price elasticity over here. This concept apparently is kind of difficult for you guys, so that's why I will be making around 3 videos about this concept. This will be the more theoretical one, so the exercises will be included in this video as well, but I will make these exercises in a later video. All right, so let's first start with this concept, okay? I will use an example to clarify what we are like doing right now. So here we go. So this is Brock, and this guy over here, he studies at the University of Ghent. Okay, so he's a very smart man, but he lives on a budget. So every month, his parents they send him 120 euros, and that's it. So, well, yeah, he has like 30 euros per week, so he really has to be careful on how he spends his money, right? This is a very important skill to have, and yeah, he has to be careful. So, the thing is, he loves a lot of things, but he really likes his apples. So, here we have a green apple. He really likes those, and every week he is buying these apples, okay? Um, so, disaster strikes, as you can see. Due to a failed harvest, the prices of the apples will go up. And now the question is, well, what will Brock do? And you already can see that he has to give up on his apples. Well, he does not have to stop buying apples. He will just buy less of these apples, as he did before, right? So that's something I think easy to comprehend already. This is obvious, right? Um, But we will compare Brock with another student. So James is also studying in Ghent. Here he is, and he's rich, or his parents are rich, and his parents they send him 500 euros uh, per month. So this man has way more money at his disposal than Brock has. There is one similarity between the two, and that's the apples. Okay, so he likes apples too. So they both like apples, but you already can predict what's going to happen. James is rich, so he will be able to keep buying a lot of apples if he wishes to. But he will still, yeah, buy the apples even when the prices go up. All right. So the final conclusion over here is here in this beautiful table. We have Brock, we have James, and we can say that Brock is quite price sensitive because, yeah, he lives on a budget. So he has a low budget, and this will mean that his demand for these apples will be price elastic, while James he is price insensitive because he lives on a higher budget, which will mean that James' demand will be price inelastic. Now the meaning of these two words will become clear in the coming slides. Okay, just remember this slide right now over here. Apparently, price elastic for Brock, price inelastic for James. All right. So there is a definition, and this is the one. So price elasticity of demand is a measure used in economics to show the responsiveness or elasticity, that's a synonym, of the quantity demanded of a good or service to a change in its price when nothing but the price changes. Yeah, okay. Some people might be like, this guy right now, you're like, huh? What? I can well, quite imagine that this definition is quite difficult to comprehend. So, too long didn't read. TLDR, how will someone's demand change when prices change? That's it, basically. So there will be a change in the price, right? And Brock or James, they will act on that change. So the first thing that always happens is the price will go up or will go down, and how will the consumer react? That's price elasticity. That's just a way to measure um, this reaction, right? So as we can see over here, responsiveness, that's actually how someone will react to this change in price. That's it. And of course, There is a formula you will need to remember because you need to be able to calculate the price elasticity of demand. Okay. Now, this definition looks like it's very difficult, right? So the thing is, over here, this strange looking E stands for elasticity, the P is price, and the D is demand. So price elasticity of demand. And the thing is, we have this big looking fraction over here, and the thing over here, okay, states that the absolute change in demand has to be divided by the initial demand. While over here, we have the absolute change in price, and we will have to divide it by the initial price. Yeah, this looks difficult, but it's rather easy if you have an example. So here we have it. I will keep the definition in my right hand corner over here so you can check it out. So let's say Brock usually buys 80 apples each week. Yeah, that's a lot, I know, but at a price of 80 cents per apple. Still some money, right? But suddenly, yeah, as we mentioned before, the prices will go up due to a failed harvest. So suddenly they cost 50% more. They are at €1.20 right now. This means that Brock will react, and his reaction is as follows. So from now on, Brock decides to buy 20 apples per week. That's a lot less than 80. And here we have the calculation. So the first thing I've done is I'm looking at this thing over here right now, the numerator of my fraction, which is also a fraction, I know, but I will split it up in two parts. So this is the first part. This is about the demand. So the absolute change in demand is about, yeah, what's the difference between 80 and 20? That's obviously 60. Why is the word absolute over there? That's because I want to have or work with positive numbers. Okay, so just drop the minus sign if you would have one. I want to work with positive numbers over here. Why? This will be or become clear in a later slide. Okay, so just know difference between 80, 20 is 60. Okay, then I have to divide this by the initial demand. Well, initially by Brock bought 80 apples, so that's why the 80 is over there. We calculate this and we arrive at the number over here, 0.75. Now we can go on to this thing over here about the price. So the absolute change in price is 40 cents. Okay, yeah, that's a difference between like 80 cents and 1.20 over here. And then we have to divide by the initial price. And then we arrive at 0.5. Of course, we have to finish things off, and this is how we do it. We will divide this number over here, the change in demand, and here by the change in price. And we arrive at 1.5. Now, what this exactly means, we don't know yet. But apparently, Brock's price elasticity of demand is at 1.5 right now. Okay, this will return later on. Now, we have James as well. So, same thing. He also buys 80 apples each week at the same price. Also, in his case, prices will go up. But James keeps on buying 60 apples per week, while Brock buys way less apples because of the budget, right? Because of the budget difference. Now, this is like the point where you pause the video and you calculate the price elasticity on your own. Okay? Well, you don't have to pause it, you can just keep on watching, but you should pause it right now and calculate it for your own because I will show my calculations right now. This is the demand side of things for James. So obviously his demand didn't change that much. There's only a 20 over here. Okay, so a small change in demand. The change in price is the same as Brock's change because yeah, they can't do anything about the price. It's just a given thing. They can do something about the demand side of things. And we arrive at zero point 0.5 over here. So Brock is at 1.5 while James is at an elasticity of zero point 0.5. Okay, in absolute terms, this means that I'm using positive numbers, right? This is what it means to have a price elasticity of 1. So if it's 1, then we can say that the price elasticity is neutral. There is a directly proportional relation between demand and price. This would mean that when prices change, the amount will change in a proportional or equal manner. This rarely happens, okay, but it can happen, okay, but it rarely happens in the real world, right? The following thing is that the price elasticity is higher than 1. So this will mean that the demand evolves more than proportional than the price. This will mean that our demand is elastic, and we can actually say that we have a price sensitive demand. Think about Brock, think about James, okay? Because they, well, are here, here, or here. The last scenario is as follows. Demand evolves less than proportional than the price. This we call inelastic, and now we can say that the person involved has a price insensitive demand. I think you already know right now that Brock belongs to this scenario over here, and James belongs over here. So Brock is sensitive because of his budget. He reacted very, or like in a strong manner, um, because of his budget. While James is like, okay, I can still buy 60 apples. It's okay. He's less sensitive than Brock is. Here we have a final conclusion rather. So this is something we saw before. Um, the only thing that's new is the row over here. So 1.5 for Brock means his demand is price elastic. He's very sensitive when prices change, while James is not sensitive when prices change. Okay, so what do I expect from you? You have to be able to calculate the price elasticity. That's one thing. But you also have to be able to know the meaning behind the number you have calculated. So you need to know what it means to be price elastic or price inelastic. That's the most important thing over here. Now, I have, I think, three or four, yeah, four exercises. I will just show them right now, and I will answer these in a later video. Okay. So exercise one over here, we get a demand curve, and we see that -5 times p plus 300 will give us a demand curve, and we know that prices will change from 10 to 8. And my question right now is calculate the price elasticity. Now I know this is a different kind of question than the previous ones with Brock and James. This might be more difficult because your demand is not given. You have to do something with the demand curve, obviously, and with the prices. Now, what you precisely have to do, think about this, and I will answer this in a later video. So this is question one. Question two is, there is a price drop. This is a completely new exercise, by the way. But yeah, okay, there is a price drop of 10%. We know that the E, this is obviously price elasticity, is apparently -2. I know the minus is not really important over here because we work with absolute values, but okay, it's just -2. You have to know what to do right now, and the question is calculate the percentage of change in the quantity demanded. All right, so I just want to know how demand changed. That's it. So also this answer will be found in the following video. Question 3 is, we have a price drop from 50 to 40 euros. Elasticity is at 1.4. The new quantity demanded is a big number. It's 512,000 units. This might be a company that's buying something, right? A lot of units. And the question over here is calculate the original quantity demanded. Okay, that's also something. Like these three questions, I will go back a bit. They all have to do with this thing over here, this formula. You have to be able to really like understand this formula in order to answer these questions. So please, when making these exercises, look at this slide, look at this formula to help you out. Okay. Then I will go to the final question, the fourth one. We have Ahmed, and he really loves Fanta. He earns a lot of money every month, and this allows him to keep buying his precious drink. Now, Elena, she loves to eat out, so she likes to go to restaurants and stuff, but sadly, she's a student and has to pay all of her bills by herself. So she probably has to work on the weekend, right? But if the prices of restaurants would go up, she would skip eating and cook instead. So the question over here is draw two demand curves. So one for Ahmet and one for Alina, and explain this using the concept of price elasticity. Now I know that I have not focused on the curves of the price elasticity yet, but this is something you will find in your textbooks. But once again, in the next video, I will talk about the curves in detail, so don't worry about that. But please, for this question, check your textbook first, and this will help you out. Okay? Okay, that's price elasticity for now. This is video one. Probably we'll make three of them. The second one will handle about these exercises over here. And if you have questions, of course, you can leave them in the comments or you can send them by mail. Okay, so good luck, and I will see you in the next video.